Hey there, friends. Got a really short video for you today. Some pictures came out this morning. Several different outlets are claiming responsibility for getting it out, so I'm not going to name any of them because I'm not sure exactly who put them out. But they're pictures of Joe Biden and Hunter Biden talking with Hunter Biden's business associates in China before Joe Biden left as vice president of the United States. This was a couple days before January 20th. Whenever he and Barack Obama left the White House, right? So this is the same type of meeting and specific meeting that in court documents, in court proceedings, different types of testimony that Joe Biden has denied being a part of, claims he did not know any of Hunter Biden's business associates, which we've already seen his Burisma guys that he was playing golf with, Joe Biden and Hunter's Burisma guys. But this is interesting because this is the Chinese guys who, to the tune of how many millions of dollars was it? I've got some notes right here that I wanted to share with you guys. Yeah, it seems that the Biden family received about $24 million from various foreign sources between 2014 and 2019. Now, a lot of this is interesting, and I want to tell you why. You know how Joe Biden went back to 2014 to pardon Hunter Biden? The reason for that was to cover all of his corruption with the Burisma board, where he took money for doing nothing through Ukraine. That's a much bigger story right there as far as everything regarding Ukraine. This meeting right here that we're showing pictures of was in 2013, the year prior. Now you might be thinking, why didn't Joe Biden go back one more year and pardon Hunter? Because in this case with China, what he was doing was not a money laundering thing. Even though we know that he doesn't have any experience and the money he was getting was crooked money, the Burisma thing is much deeper. In other words, there were crimes committed there, actual crimes, not just impeachable crimes for Joe Biden. I'm talking about Hunter Biden committing money laundering crimes. So they knew that, to me, knowing that these pictures were out there, because they fought to keep these pictures hidden from 2013 with the Chinese officials and the Chinese business partners of Hunter. So they knew these pictures were out there and they knew that they would surface. They didn't screw up by only going back to 2014. They knew that going back to 2013 was not necessary because even though this was clearly influence peddling, it was in regards to Joe Biden doing something wrong. And there's no corruption, if you will, even though we know it's corrupt. There's no actual crime committed by Hunter Biden with these Chinese officials. So these pictures are damning to Joe Biden, not Hunter Biden. So the pardon wasn't necessary to go back to 2013, where the Ukraine issue, totally different. Everything from trafficking to money laundering, there were crimes committed regarding the whole Ukraine situation. It's very important that we understand China and Ukraine, even though they both were built on corruption regarding Joe Biden and his influence peddling, they're certainly not the same. They're quite different. So it's very important that we do understand that because we have to separate those two. The China thing, we can be mad about it. We can say, I told you so. I knew that was happening. We can say all those things if we want to. And we're right to say that. But it's still not like the Ukraine thing. The Ukraine thing needed a pardon for Hunter Biden. Otherwise, Hunter Biden could have gone to prison for the rest of his life once the facts come out about it. Again, this China thing is just a matter of, I told you so for us. We knew this was happening. It's just a matter of, okay, now we're validated. We're vindicated in what we were saying. We knew that was happening. We kind of got to move on from this Chinese one because the Ukraine one, there are a lot of other things that probably, not probably, we're going to find out a whole lot of other things. I do believe that. Now, Joe Biden still has to, let me take this back. Joe Biden, his handlers, and I'm going to get more on this in a minute, his handlers still have to pardon Jim Biden, his brother. Because his brother will go to prison. I think they were waiting, kind of pumping the brakes. And I think some of those other pardons and commutations that you saw for all those killers, arsonists, murderers, all those people that Joe Biden commuted their sentences, I think that was all a smokescreen to look like a whole lot of time was passing. And then boom, he'll slide Jim Biden in there as a pardon at the last minute. You watch, he has to pardon Jim Biden or Jim Biden's going to jail. But I have a question for you regarding this whole thing with Joe. You know how Joe did not, a committee determined that Joe was too senile of an old man to stand any kind of a trial, right? Remember that. Remember that they determined that there was no way that we can put Joe Biden through that because he's a senile old man with a bad memory. Remember all this? Answer me this, and this is a serious question. I don't know any other way to ask this. Do you guys think that Joe Biden is smarter than what we give him credit for? Do you think for a minute, maybe, just maybe, for 4 years, the news media obviously ran cover for Joe Biden, saying that he was sharper than everybody in the room, which we all knew better than that. And they knew better than that. I mean, it was a message they had to run with. Was this an act by Joe Biden? Did Joe Biden know that he won't be impeached, he won't be in prison, no charge will be filed against him, because everybody will feel sorry for poor old senile potato head Joe, right? I mean, he's played the role perfectly. He's certainly gotten already the benefit of that in terms of a defense, in terms of, oh, we don't need to do that to him. He's just a senile old man. You know, feeling sorry for the old fruitcake. Was this an act all along? Did Joe Biden play us knowing that based on so many people reacting based on simple emotion, just emotion? Oh, we feel sorry for him. Yeah, we know he's corrupt. We know he's crooked. But we just can't see ourselves putting this old man through that. Look at him. He's crapping in his diaper right now. We can't do that to him. He can't even walk up a flight of stairs. Poor old Joe. Let's not do that to Joe. Let's just let him fade out into the sunset and do what he's going to do. This is a family who brought in $25 million that we know of from foreign countries as a result of Joe Biden being, at the time, vice president of the United States. Don't think maybe we haven't all been played here and Joe Biden is just as spry mentally as anybody else that we've been accusing his handlers of pushing all these buttons. I'm not naive enough to think that Joe Biden ever was smart enough to do any of the things that he's done on his own. Joe Biden has always been a stupid man. Even before it seemed like he lost cognitive ability to do anything. We know that Barack Obama has been behind this. In fact, we saw a video that shows that Barack Obama is certainly the one calling the shots. We know this. We know Barack Obama, the Susan Rices, that whole Barack Obama outfit is still the group calling all the shots. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Joe Biden is cognitively aware enough and he's been running the country. He has not been running the country. But is he cognitively aware enough to know to play the role of the old potato vegetable Joe? That's a question I think we need to be serious about. I do believe this old man has been playing us. I do believe he's a cognitive mess and an old fool. But I also think he's clever enough to know that the American people will not go after some old fruitcake drooling and crapping in his own diaper.
I don't understand the point that you're making.
God save the Queen, man.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America. He's so horrible.